Hello guys, and welcome back to Power and Revolution 2019 edition with our Chinese playthrough right here. On the last episode, we expanded our military some more. We got back into the game of starting up our own space missions to keep that research going and keep our relevance in that area. And I started a new little policy where I'm going to try, as you see here, to get every country that I have any kind of evidence against denounced by the UN, kicked out of the World Trade Organization, etc., etc. Because it may just be a one-off fluke, but it does seem like this time around, getting justification against Indonesia for intervention was a lot easier once I got them denounced, kicked out of the WTO, etc., etc. So, at the very least, if I cannot get justification against things, I can maybe make it easier to get justification against their countries, or I could at least rile up the international balance of things one by one, getting more and more countries excluded from international organizations. The first order of business today is going to be more helicopters, actually. This is what we're trying to get up to about 2,000 to ensure, or about 1,800, to ensure that we have the largest helicopter fleet in the entire world. We already have 300 making. I'm going to order another 100 right now as our growth rate is good, our inflation is good, and I want to get this to 1,000 so I can see whether or not it needs to keep going up by hundreds or if 200s can start following. On the last episode also, we set up this space program specifically right before the end called Mars Probe. It's an orbital probe of Mars. Pretty simple. Some other countries have done it, and we've done a lot more on Mars, more complex stuff. I'm surprised we haven't accomplished this. I'd like to get everything done, once. And we already got Russia as a partner. Kazakhstan is offering to be a partner for a very small sum of money, but I'm just going to go ahead and accept this right now and then see if anyone applies in round 3. In order to try to fuck with South Korea a little more, I'm going to make all scandals related to the guy public because I believe, since his country is so open, especially media-wise, or at least it should be.
Police, justice, and journalists.
This scandal should really start to hurt his popularity, which is at 70% right now. I think he's actually won another term. No, actually his elections are coming up. I think that's what this means, yeah. So if his elections are just coming up, we might actually make him lose the election, which would be kind of funny. And since we already went to the UN about his transgressions, this isn't really going to affect our capability of getting him denounced. So amazingly, out of somewhere, our growth has actually swung just in the opposite direction. It's gone down to 2.62. I don't even know why. We haven't crossed a quarter just yet. Not recently enough to have, anyway, gotten this random swing. It might just be all the military stuff settling in. I don't know. I'm going to use this opportunity here to then do some spending in the work category here, because fixing an unemployment rate will certainly end up fixing growth. I'm going to boost employing seniors up to here, even with employing young people, and these two right here. Not that I think these necessarily help anything. You know what? They probably don't. This one might. This one. I'll do all 3 of these for now. And I will see that should probably have at least some effect on employment, which should then have an effect on growth. Well, the resolution on South Korea is in, and it looks like, unless it's something that's going to get war justification in better cases, then the UN is not willing to embargo anyone over it. That means, for example, financing terrorists is not good enough of a reason, according to the US, to go ahead, or the UN, to go ahead and embargo someone. My growth has adjusted slightly, like 0.01%. I guess it makes sense. Funding seniors finding jobs isn't so crazy. My working limits, like the retirement age, is actually pretty low. So I guess that wasn't likely to have a gigantic effect, at least not an immediate one. So I have a better idea. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start making some stuff again. There's a number of ways I can go about raising growth, but this is one that I thought of, a while ago, and that is to keep expanding my oil and gas industry. Already, so gas we never actually went positive on, but we did increase our production. Oil, we became the top producer in the entire world, and it's badass. So to keep this little economy train moving, we're going to set up some oil in this new area over here. What is this called? Nay Mongol. I guess this is this might be the whole of Inner Mongolia, actually. That's pretty crazy that it's that large. And we only get 5 oil wells in it max for maximum efficiency. So we already got one place. Let's set up a second one. Let's set up if we can get some space for it, a third one. I got to make sure it always says average. We're not going to find high anywhere around here. At least I'm pretty sure we're not going to find high. I didn't look like over here, for example. I didn't look over here. But they seem to all be like very weak. Yeah, so we got to stay where the oil is. We've set up 4. And now a 5th. There you go. And now for gas wells, which are all going to be weak. But it's better than nothing. 1, 2. And then this should help our economy when it finishes producing anyway. It should help our economy. Until it actually finishes construction, it's not going to help anybody. And this should be all 5. Hey, they're kind of arranged in like 2 lines. It's like almost neat accidentally. Alright, so we set up another 5 and 5. I already know this will have pretty large increases. Not like a whole % of a jump, but that will be a pretty decent jump. If I can get 1 more set up and going, that would actually be preferable. Okay, so I found a new location over here that has a pretty decent amount of oil by the looks of it. Like there's a patch of it that just goes between a couple provinces, essentially. I think China calls them provinces. With foreign countries, I like to assume they call them provinces instead of states. The only countries I know of that say states instead of provinces is my country, the US, and Australia. If you know any other countries that say states, then feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm not sure. Let's see if this has any gas anywhere near it. Very weak. Not looking good. Not looking good. This might not have any gas. No, but let's see if the northern part of Shaanxi has any gas, because it's pretty close to other gas locations that we've set up. The east side appears to be dry. Let's take a look at the west side. No, Shaanxi is pretty much dry of gas wells. Well, that's a shame. But that oil, that's the big thing that affects our economics. So the oil wells and gas wells that are building over here and the oil wells over here, when they're done, should have a pretty decent effect on our growth. The only way I'm going to be setting up more just yet is if I see my growth start to go down more, but we'll see. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I got an alert that we had a budget excess at the change of the quarter here on like October 1st of like 100 billion or so. Our treasury reserve right now is at like 132 billion. This number is really inconsistent. Like the amount of money you actually make excess does not get added into what you have for whatever reason. It like loses a bunch of it before it gets added in. I don't know why, but that's just how it works. But the good news is we're still growing our budget pretty well. Since our budget is pretty damn positive, I'm actually going to take this chance to denationalize to some extent internet services so that it can grow more and faster and I don't have to micromanage it. It's pretty risky because it's worth quite a lot, like 2 trillion, just not even all the shares, like all the shares worth 3 trillion. But I'm going to go ahead and confirm this, and whatever happens, happens. Don't look at this. That's misleading. The actual effect this is going to have after the fact is not going to be known until it's done. So I might gain a fuck ton of money up front, essentially, which would go into my reserve just for selling a bunch of my shares. But my income, my actual income from sectors nationalized would end up going down for a while. However, the growth rate of internet services will actually go up because of the increased privatization, which also could help our growth rate. It wouldn't be immediate, but it's already started taking effect to
Here
other
is our
things.
growth forecast for the
You got a 2.55 annual growth. That's actually gone down a little bit more, surprisingly. But we'll see. The oil will definitely have a positive effect. We've researched cloning. Okay. This should help with health stuff, I guess. We got 50 Chinese helicopters delivered. Nice. And we've infiltrated the Hindu fighters, which hopefully we can take down again sooner rather than later. Let's go into work again. I want to make sure people stay employed. Employing seniors is a lot less expensive. Oh no, it's about the same price. All right, let's tick these up by 1 each and take a look at how that goes. I should really increase this as well. Yeah, I'm gonna max this out. The unemployed probably won't like it, but it will convince them not to be unemployed as much. Luckily, I'm making people happy, so making them unhappy won't have as much of an effect. After a third round of funding, Venezuela wants to join in for barely any money, but they want to join in, and that can bolster friendship, so I will welcome them with open arms. So we just got another 50 helicopters delivered, which is nice. This is the kind of stuff which is why our growth is probably going down, because the money we put into defense is now used. It's no longer putting anything into the economy. That's the thing about defense. It's like temporary boosts. It's weird. But I just wanted to give you guys a chance to actually see the current state of our economy, of our industries, I should say. Here are our top industries and their percentage of the national sales here. Coal is our number 1 industry, which is kind of crazy. I guess we are selling a lot to, I don't know, other countries, but this is national sales. It might be because of the amount of fossil fuels China starts up with. Chemical industry is after that, and then steel, vegetables of all things, building and housing, which is very important. Fossil electricity, yeah, that's probably where a lot of the coal goes into. Electric materials, conventional oil. So like this definitely wasn't on here at the start because I don't think we had much of, we didn't have much of any oil production at the start. And I've already made it one of my top industries. I'm curious if I can actually get this to being my top industry. We got utility vehicle construction and finally automobile construction. So in case you're wondering what China is the strongest at right now in game, this is it. So the growth numbers haven't changed so much yet, but unemployment is getting down to better levels after I've been pumping money into the work tab here. So that's pretty good. We're seeing some good improvement there, meaning it might be worth just going ahead and literally doing this. It's pretty pricey, but it can definitely help turn things around in terms of unemployment and make sure there's a stable amount of getting people employed. Without this stuff here, economic growth usually isn't enough to foster employment. This is actually the most reliable way of doing it. Well, that nationalization, or should I say denationalization, has gone through, so I guess in a little bit of an update here, we'll see how it goes. We got a even larger budget excess now, even though as you see a big change in our income from sectors nationalized. However, while we're not getting income from nationalization, that entire sector is now subject to our taxes. Because we're not getting 100% of the profit, we are taxing them of their profit, and their growth will go up, which should help our economy in the long run and hopefully help our budget in the long run. But for right now, we are definitely ahead of where we started, even with all my increased spending to things like work lately. Whereas South Korea did not get denounced, by making the financing of terrorists known to the country of South Korea, I guess, I actually got the leader of South Korea deposed, apparently. I wonder if that's already updated that I can see. Yeah. Yep, the president, the old president of South Korea is now gone. And now there's this new guy that's been in power for 7 days. I literally just let one thing into the public, and already such incredible results, I guess. I deposed the leader. I don't know if it necessarily gains me anything. You can leave a comment letting me know if you thought that actually helped or not. But either way, the old guy wasn't giving me anything to work with. Now we got some new guy in here, and maybe he'll give me something to work with, huh? So it doesn't look like the space program is getting anyone else in it, so I'm actually going to go ahead here and finish it up myself. So we're going to go ahead and set the funding to, how much did I need? Probably like 99%, basically. Almost all of it. So let's hit 99% here. No, it's going to have to be a little over 99.2%. No, 99.3%. Modify? No. It doesn't even look like it's letting me do the percentages, but I know it did let me do it last time. Yeah, here we go. 99.5%. We're going to approve the program and get it started. One program launched means another one to launch. Here we have Phobos, one of the moons of Mars, and we're going to get an orbital probe launched over this as well. This has never been done before, like ever. Literally, look, never been initiated by anybody. So Phobos, Probos. Yeah. I think that's the best title yet. So we're going to go ahead and knock this up to, let's say 540, I guess. 540. And we're going to create. And that should be good. Yes. Phobos Probos. Vietnam is funding something that will never go anywhere. You know, I haven't played a European country, like, in forever. Not in any of the games that have the space stuff. So I wonder what being in the European Space Agency would be like. And Mars probe should be going through pretty much easily. So risk of failure. When does it become problematic? Earlier in this month, I guess? Yeah, earlier in this month. So like the 25th, 9th month, 2024. That's actually pretty far out there if you think about it. Damn. Alright, let's confirm that as the time then. In the meantime here, I'm going to get these 50,000 basically infantry troops right here moving towards the border with Myanmar. For my little hit and run tactic, this seems to be the closest way to do it. Eventually, I will go ahead and schedule my cyber attack when they reach the border. I'll wait a few days and then I'll just start marching into Myanmar after a few days so that the ultimatum happens. I get a little bit of a head start to getting to the capital, because the capital has 37,500 troops in it. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I want to make sure I get there with plenty of time to take it over before the cyber attack ends. And by the way, I've had one person complaining every time I do this, even calling this tactic cheesy. I would say this is not cheesy. Commandos are cheesy, because commandos can't even be seen. But what I'm doing right here is actually not cheesy. It's a real life strategy. This is actually the US's favorite strategy in wartime. If you look at the US history of war strategy, especially in modern times, this actually has a name. It's called shock and awe. It was the primary strategy during the invasion of Iraq in about, 2003? 2000, around that time. The whole idea is to decapitate the enemy government, avoid entrenched urban fighting, and basically it will all just fall apart and then you'll win. Seeing as that's exactly how governments work in this game, that means shock and awe is literally the most effective strategy in this entire game. Funny enough. Looks like we had a catastrophe though. Flooding? We had flooding in Beijing and it was over. It started and it ended within me explaining the shock and awe stuff. We are seeing huge improvement now. You can see that, a huge improvement to the unemployment without even seeing like a raise to the growth just yet. So that's really, really nice. I don't quite know if this stuff will help employment. Theoretically, I mean, it's supposed to be like feel-good stuff, like, oh, yay, you're helping equality and helping discrimination, and, this will make people happy. But I don't know if it will actually have a practical effect. I have money to spare. I have plenty of money. So I am going to go ahead and put these in effect, hoping that this will somehow boost employment even further. Because theoretically, if there's no discrimination, then more employees get hired, right? Theoretically, if gender equality doesn't keep someone out of the workplace, or generate inequality, then more employees would get employed. Theoretically. So this is telling me there's like 7 billion in damages. This is always a bullshit lie. So I'm going to go ahead and donate 9 billion and hope that that's enough to take care of it all. Almost all the time I try to overestimate it and it's still not enough. It looks like it was enough this time. I usually overestimate by a bill. That's always too little. Holy shit, unemployment's down to 4.67%. I don't know if that's a continuing effect from the raising in funding in the work tab that I've already done, or if that is the discrimination policies in action. I probably should have spaced it out more so I could get a direct causation and effect, but I love how this is progressing. Even with a low growth such as this, if this is maintained and it's going up, even if this growth is maintained this low, the rate at which unemployment is going down is really beneficial, and you don't really need higher growth at that case necessarily. Unless you just want your average citizen to be wealthier, of course. Also, that was everything I needed. So we got a couple updates here. My troops have finally reached the border. So I'm going to go ahead into Secret Service and schedule a military cyber attack against Myanmar, boys, we're doing it. This is going to be the riskiest war yet. The largest country with, well, maybe not landmass-wise, but population-wise, 57 million population, bigger than everything we've already invaded combined. That's a big deal. Largest economy with a GDP of 110.5 bill. That'll definitely help expand our GDP a little bit more and catch us up to the United States. Largest military by far, although I feel like this number has been going down. I could just be going crazy. Hopefully we won't have to worry about any of that. I will silently, off camera, start moving my troops very, very soon, and we'll see how it goes. Oh, and also, we got a scheduled liftoff for the Space Hab mod space program, so that's pretty cool. I know I need that for something. I forget what I need it for. So funny enough, the new South Korean government is apparently financing the movement of Hindu fighters in my country. So, or maybe they were already, they probably were already doing that given how close of a time period this was. We've been in here for almost a month though, so I'm going to go ahead and just dismantle this. It's been 3 days, so I've gone ahead and started moving my troops into Myanmar. They are, of course, moving troops to my borders after I started moving troops to theirs. We have a latent conflict already going because of it. Soon here you're going to see an ultimatum pop up. There's the ultimatum, 72 hours to withdraw troops. So hopefully the cyber attack happens within the next 72 hours. Hopefully. Oh, wait, what? Discovered that a meeting has taken place between the boss and the South Korean head of state. A quick mod. Okay, great. What was that? Public finances. Yeah, okay. Eliminate head of state. No. Great disapproval. Yeah, they were disapproving that we were at the border. So literally to start a latent conflict, all you have to do is put troops at the border. It's an interesting way to escalate tensions, but it doesn't have as much practical effect as real life. If they ever make a sequel to Power and Revolution and stop this every year is a DLC update of the game policy they have now, I'd love to see them add that kind of feature to it to have little skirmishes. And there you go. Strike. The military cyber attack has happened. Perfect timing. We went by another 2 days. I had maybe 24 hours of leeway, if even. So now they're all stopped, and distance to the capital is about 200 miles. We managed about 100 miles before the cyber attack started. So we covered about a third of the distance to get there before the cyber attack started. So I know with 400 miles, I got there just in time. So hopefully now I have about 2 times the time to work with, this means that when I get there, it still might come out, We still might have issues with dealing with everything. So let's go ahead and try to do something about this. So I'm going to take 21 fighters here and select the actual right way to fire this time and send them at these boys right here. What else? We got, 60,000 troops right here. That's a big chunk of troops. Let's take the rest of these forces and send them at these troops. Just the ones that are out and about. We got some tanks here. I don't need to really stop any of this from getting destroyed because I would dismantle this equipment anyway, given the chance. Do we have another air base nearby? We kind of do. Right here. Fighters 71. So let's take another 21 and send them over here to blow these tanks up. And continue. They haven't sent any other troops out, which is fine. The moment that the military cyber attack wears off, though, our troops are going to be in a world of pain. But hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. We're not going to get all these troops in here. I just sent this many hoping, in case something goes wrong, they manage to get some infantry out, we can do something about it. So 2 of our missiles are, of course, coming in already from the nearer air base going towards the infantry here, and the missile launchers. Whoa, the missile launchers have almost been wiped out. It'll take another strike. These guys took some damage, but it's actually going to take a lot more strikes to deal with them. Here's our space launch. This one actually has a countdown. And this is the space habitation module that we're launching into space, which honestly, I don't even remember what the point of that was. Maybe I'll go check it after this. And we have some stuff happening, just some reminders. A journalist was kidnapped in Syria. You know, didn't this happen a while ago and we just didn't get any alerts about it at all? And now we have war pop-ups. Okay, are we good with this? Or are we done launching off? They keep happening right when I go to war, I've noticed. Let's get back over here. Do we have any more incoming missiles? No. But the fighters are coming back as they're supposed to. That's good. So let's take a look here. So let me just make a quick update. Unemployment's still going down. That's amazing. 10 out of 10. We got a war update. Myanmar declared war on us. Yes. That's fine. It should be fine. We have UN approval to go after them. Either way. Claim responsibility or preparing to broadcast a communique. A communique. I remember this happening a while ago, but I was never contacted, which was kind of weird. Let's unpause here. We are about, what? How many miles out now? About 100 miles, not even. 70 miles out. So we should be reaching the capital very, very shortly. Here comes some more missiles. Where are the fighters from the other location? I'm not seeing them, actually. Alright, so we got these missiles have destroyed the missile launchers that belong to them, and these will do another good chunk of damage, but not fully. And they're calling to issue an ultimatum, taking a warmonger penalty. I'm not warmongering. I have permission to do this. I confirmed I have permission to do this. Adopted resolutions. Myanmar. Military intervention. I am not warmongering, you pieces of shit. Maybe I just shouldn't care about UN permission? I don't know. I experienced something like this in the Brazil playthrough as well. This game is so buggy. Honestly, it's buggier in many ways than a lot of the older games are. At least the 2019 version is. And we have a update on the Phobos Probos. Of course, the only one offering any actual money is Russian. They're offering 13 mil. Not so bad. That's more than they've been offering lately. Of course, they probably want to take part in this because it's the first time it's ever been done. I will accept them as a partner, and we'll see about any minor countries that decide to apply after this. New partner, any others? Our war declaration. Offensive strategy? No, don't send anyone. I'm trying to shock and awe here for minimum deployment. Good old U.S. Iraqi strategy. We're about to hit the capital with our troops, which is perfect. Unfortunately, of course, you can only enter so quickly at a time. If we can get to the Capitol building fast enough, we won't need to worry about time. So many pop-ups, so many moles unprotected. I always tell them not to continue their activities, but it always feels like they just constantly continue them. Enter the city. I remember when that crashed my game. Whoa. Okay. So let's make sure everyone's fighting someone. Ooh, already losing troops. They have troops right at the fucking entrance to the city, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Are they going to win this little engagement here? They got the drop on us. Yeah, they got the drop on us. They won that engagement, but we should have more troops coming in here.
The city has fallen.
The city has fallen, yeah. We should have more troops in there very, very shortly. And it should be fine. I don't know what the hell these troops are doing. Doing some weird spinny shit. Stop moving away. Enter the city. You enter the city. And we got a nice person apparently appointed to lead Argentina. That's good. Quote unquote nice to us, I should specify. I wonder if I take a stack of like 10,000 and I move them into the city at the same time, if they'll split off and send their own troops in as well. It doesn't fully seem like it, no. Alright, so we're back into the city. We got our troops here. And we should be able to start moving in. Yes, the troops that were here are seemingly gone. We could start moving in on the head of state bunker now and trying to catch it. Holy shit, look at how many troops they have in front of the police HQ. Their barracks are probably stuffed with them. Yeah, look at all these buildings. We can't even see inside the buildings. This is just outside the buildings. Remember, they have like 35,000 fucking troops in here. More and more of our troops are entering the city. Maybe this is working, actually. Maybe this is working. Where's our bigger chunk here? Yeah, maybe I'll try to split up this force a little bit more to try to get more troops in there sooner. That might be the magic strategy I've been missing to accomplish this faster. I know that smaller groups of troops are harder to kill. I wasn't aware if splitting up your stacks would allow you to enter the city faster. It does seem to be the case, though. See, after all these years, I'm still learning about this series. But the reason being is in the older games, this city map, before Power and Revolution, this wasn't a thing. City riots and battles over city were just auto-generated, just like the fights outside once you entered them. I think they were fought like outside the city too, not the riots. Yeah, this is still all pretty new to me, the whole city battle stuff. I've always tried to avoid it in this game anyway. But we have a nice full episode here. We've accomplished quite a lot, and we're gonna see how this war goes on the next episode. Hopefully it goes pretty well and we end up winning with no problems. But potentially we do have to keep in mind we might run into a situation where Myanmar military cyber attack just ends too soon, and then we end up having to fight a little bit more than we wanted, losing some troops. That being said, we should win this one way or another. I think we have enough troops in here already to win this. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.